scholars? Welcome to History 201. This is Professor Lancaster coming at you. I wanted to talk to you today about the syllabus. Now it's located under the resources page of our Blackboard classroom. If you don't have access to that, please send me an email. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't even have this video if you didn't have access to that. So let's go through a couple things for you here. And this is not going to be the definitive video about the syllabus. You need to read it yourself and go through all the little things. I wanted to highlight a couple things, some frequently asked questions. All right, first thing I want to talk about is on the second page we have a little disclaimer. And you can read it on your own, but it says, the views expressed in the reading assignments and video lecture do not necessarily reflect the views of the instructor or the school. History is not monolithic. It is told through countless eyes and through countless opinions. That's important to remember in this class. We're going to read a lot of stuff that you may not necessarily agree with, and some things you might actually hate. But it's important that we look at all views, including views that I myself don't necessarily agree with. We're going to be detectives, and it's our part as historians and detectives to piece everything together with all the information that we have. And I can talk about that in greater detail later for you. But just know, you may get offended. It's not because I'm trying to get a rise out of you. I want you to make sure that we're paying attention to all voices and seeing if we can decipher the truth from the required readings for this class. We have Carnes's book, which is American Destiny. That's something that you were able to pick up in the school bookstore. Hopefully you have it. If not, you want to get a copy of that. It gives a good baseline of American history and a good starting point for this class. So make sure you have that book. Now there's two other books listed on there. There's one by Howard Zinn, A People's History of the United States, and we have one called The Patriots' History of the United States by Larry Schwackhout. So what's important about these two things, these two books, is we have to go through and see that they're pretty much written diametrically opposed to each other. Larry Schwackhout wrote Patriots' History as an antithesis to Howard Zinn's. Howard Zinn is a famous 20th century historian who wrote a lot about the bottom to top history, looking at minorities, looking at women, looking at people of lower socioeconomic classes, and developing a story of history through their eyes. Larry, on the other hand, Schwackhout, decided he wanted to answer those questions that are raised by Zinn in his book through a more conservative lens. So we have almost a super conservative bias versus like a liberal bias. And we'll have two reading assignments based on each chapter about each subject from each author, and they're going to have very different opinions. And again, they may offend you, but you have to make sure that you go through and read it, because we need to make sure we're piecing the entire history together the best that we can. Those two books, again, are 100% free. There'll be PDF versions that will be located on the resources page of Black. As far as the point system goes for this class, you can take a look on your own and see what's expected of you, but I'll give you a quick rundown, and all these will be highlighted later in subsequent videos. So if I don't cover something that it doesn't make sense to you, just go watch the further videos that will be posted later. First, quizzes. Quizzes are going to be sort of random, that are going to be administered throughout the entire semester. You'll be notified at the beginning of the week to take the test or the quiz. It'll be a certain amount of questions that I'll need you to have answer it. You'll get one crack at it. So make sure that you're doing the reading and the writing assignments, which we'll get to in a little bit. Discussion posts. Discussion posts are going to be the lifeblood of this class to make sure that we're staying engaged with each other and discussing history. Every week I'll provide you with a question, and I want you to take that question, answer to the best of your ability. Generally, these questions will be taken from the reading assignments or some of the films that we'll watch. Make sure that you are up on all the content. You'll answer the question in 1 to 2 paragraphs. That'll be for 1 week. The following week, you'll have to respond to 2 of your classmates with 1 to 2 paragraph answers of whatever that they have written about. Again, this is to kind of keep us engaged and talk to us about history, and the different worldviews that have come with you will give us different perspectives into history in general. So those will be assigned every other week. We'll have a new question, but we'll be answering questions every week. So make sure you pay attention to the discussion board posts, which will be under the, you guessed it, discussion board section of Blackboard. We're going to have a midterm and a final exam that will be in this class. Those will be covered in videos later. Just understand that these will be short answer essays for the most part. For the exam, it'll be, it'll be probably 4 to 5 paragraphs we're looking for our midterm questions, and then probably a page and a half for final exam questions. But again, those will be highlighted later in for following video, but make sure you do watch that because the midterm and the final exam make up a huge portion of your grade. The last little bit is going to be a video assignment that you'll be doing as your final project. Again, I won't get into it too much, but it's a large portion of your grade, so make sure you follow the directions when I post. Everything else you can kind of take a look at with the Blackboard assignments that are listed. You can take a look early, or you can go through and look at the syllabus on your own time. It'll have everything listed for you, highlighted when things are due and what's expected of you every week. And I'll also have announcement videos to kind of keep us connected together and make sure that we're all on the same page as far as everything goes. I'd like you to read through the syllabus when you get a chance, and if there's any questions on anything I didn't cover, when there's a lot in there that I didn't, please feel free to send me a message. If I hear from you, great. If not, we'll see you around.